Well, what's up, everybody? This is Terminator Juice, and welcome to another Juice Opinions. This is number 16. I'm going to talk about a few things beforehand, and then I'm going to get into basically ranking the Nintendo home consoles from least favorite to favorite, starting with number 6, number 5. That'll be this week. Next week, I'll do 4 and 3. And then the week after, I'll give my number 2, my number 1, favorite Nintendo home console. So this is going to be leading up to the Switch. We're 3 weeks away, which means my PS4 is 3 weeks away from being almost completely irrelevant to me. So, I might still pick up a few games down the road, but seriously, it's going to be collecting dust for a while. So I thought this would be a good way to lead up to the launch of the Switch by I'm going to do number 6 on my list of home consoles from Nintendo. I'm going to give the standout games, some good games, maybe some disappointments, things I liked about it, things I didn't, and the reasons why it was in the spot it ended up. So, but let's start with my new obsession. The only game I've been playing since the Juice Loose podcast, actually since last Saturday, which is almost a week. So for the past 6 days, I've played only one game, and I played it every day, and at least an hour every day. And that's that damn Fire Emblem Heroes. I gotta say, I'm addicted. It's everything I liked about Fire Emblem Awakening minus the stuff I didn't like. I mean, it's quicker battles. You don't have to worry about people dying and stuff. Like I'm more of a casual, I guess, in that regard. And I actually like the hand-drawn stuff versus the terrible, like I said on the Juices Loose last week, the terrible 3D polygon character models just kind of look ridiculous. But I love this game. There's a lot of depth. Like forget who it was in the comment section, plus Terrell was telling me about all the stuff for leveling up. So then I got some characters level 20, and then I went and I forget what it's called, which you gain a star. So I took a couple 3 stars to made them 4 stars. I don't have the required thing to do a 4-star up to a 5-star. Triple J Zoo, I see your comment there. We'll have to see. But Fire Emblem Heroes summoning is exciting every time, even though the disappointment when you don't get a character you want. I didn't know there was hard and insanity or whatever difficulty levels on the mission, so I got a lot more orbs that way. But I didn't get any. I got Marth. Last night or the night before. I switched up from the summoning from the pool of iconic heroes, and then to the other one, and I got Marth that way. Like they show a picture of Marth in the other one, but whatever, it's great. I love it. I would charge my tablet almost every day now. We'll see how long that lasts. I haven't played Resident Evil 7 in a week now, and Gravity Rush 2 in 6 days, and Wonderful 101 probably 6 days as well. So this weekend is going to be all about dedicating. I'm going to try to get through the complete mission 6 in Wonderful 101, which is A, B, and C. Hopefully start 7, and then try to push through Resident Evil. So I got to finish one of these games, free up time for the rest. So let's talk about the Switch Pro Controller. It's still available currently on Best Buy, up for pre-order. I had it in my cart. I was in the checkout, one step away. With tax, it's $74 and some cents. And I'm just like, you know what? I mean, I made that video talking about how I was just going to wait till it's cheaper, even though my Amazon Prime membership I'm going to let run out. I'm not interested at this point in spending $75 for any controller. Until I play with the Joy-Cons and the grip, or Joy-Cons separate, we'll have to find out. I'll find out for myself. Hey, is this going to be a viable way to play Breath of the Wild? I'll know within probably the first couple of days, and then if I change my mind, then I'll go out and buy a Pro Controller. And I'm in a pretty good spot right now. I refinanced my house and got went from 7% interest to 3.6, saving $30 a month. Shaved 4 years off my loan. And another benefit is I don't have a house payment for 2 months. So I have this like basically a bonus. And I'm thinking about stuff I should spend it on. And I'm like, I can totally justify, you know, the money for the Pro Controller. I just, you know, I'm going to wait. I'm going to use the Joy-Cons and see what I think of them. So I would recommend anyone else do that, unless you just know for a fact that you want that Pro Controller at some point. You might as well buy it now. I guess I can't argue with that, but I'm going to wait. And I was looking at it just like 10 minutes ago, and it's still up for pre-order on Best Buy. So I think there's not going to be like, you're not going to be able to find them or something. It's not going to be like the GameCube adapter for the Wii U, I don't think. So we'll see. But yeah, I'll probably pick one up down the road, but we'll find. I'll find how I feel about the Joy-Cons, you know, and then I'll decide from there. The next thing, the developer behind that Snake Pass indie game, if you watch OJ's latest video, they did a Twitch stream where they were like talking about how porting to the Switch like took them like under a week or about a week to get the game onto the Switch. I don't know if that was final. Obviously, it probably wasn't finalized, but sounds like they're pretty happy with the porting process. And I think they're also, or maybe it was somebody else, the World of Goo, that trio of games, and then one of the developers did Redout as well, which is I uploaded a clip of that on the PC, the demo, and it's a pretty good game. So looking forward to that. But it's just good to hear. We've heard other developers say that it's a really great system, and it just seems like everybody's excited. Third-party developers, gamers, Nintendo Kimishima's really confident in selling 80 million plus, and everything's looking good. So you know, the Super Bowl ad had a lot of buzz, and you know, just promotion for it seems to be really good. I would like to see a direct before the launch, just kind of finalize some details. The eShop, if Virtual Console going to be there, walk us through the OS. You know, I mean, they'll probably have some small videos on the. If you haven't checked the Nintendo website, the store for the Switch, they've added some videos, which I think they've did the overview or whatever. But there's some other short little videos that are pretty cool. Hopefully they'll just do a direct, and I would like that, even though I'm already getting the Switch and stuff. But it would be probably a cool idea. But yeah, just excited. 3 weeks. I mean, to the day. I'll be playing Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, trying to decide if I want to make time to do a Juice Opinions in 3 weeks from today. So I probably will just give you guys my first impressions right there before the juice is loose. So stay tuned for that. But like I said, going to do the ranking the Nintendo home consoles, even though the Switch is also kind of a portable. I've played all the portables. I had the Game Boy Advance, the SP, then I had a DS Lite, and then I have the 3DS. So I've only had 3 of them. I played the Game Boy, never played the Game Boy Color. So I'm just going to do home consoles. I'm going to start with number 6. Like I said earlier, I'm going to give my personal standout games. And again, this is a perfect thing for a Juice Opinions, because this is completely opinion. This isn't just talking about some news like I just was. This is completely my opinion. And Retro Death's going to probably, yeah, I mean, he already knows, but people are going to be butthurt. Rob of Rule of Two and our lists are completely opposite at the ends. It's just crazy. So yeah, number 6. It's not gonna be a spoiler because a couple people have already predicted this. The Nintendo GameCube I guess you could say, is my least favorite Nintendo system. The standout games for me, and this is absolutely just for me, games I have fond memories playing, I guess would be a better way to say that. That's Metroid Prime. That's Resident Evil 4. And to a way lesser degree, but I still would put it in the standout categories, Eternal Darkness, because some of the moments I remember the little tricks they did, you know, but the actual game, I couldn't tell you one thing about the story. But it was unique in that it tricked me. Oh, your save data is corrupt. You know, that stuff's memorable. The game itself, you could say that's gimmicky stuff. because the game itself I have zero memories of. Like, so, but anyway, some really good games: Rogue Squadron, Resident Evil Remake, Metroid Prime 2, Retro. I don't want to hear it. Retro Death. Don't even comment. I don't even want to read it. There was a lot of third-party games on there that were pretty good. And then for me, Smash Brothers, I didn't know anybody else that had a GameCube that wanted to play it, so I have the game, but I missed out on the main draw of that game, which is the 4-player couch co-op stuff. And then there's some disappointing games, main franchises that have the worst iterations of those franchises for me. Star Fox Adventures. I mean, Star Fox on the Super Nintendo is one of my favorite Super NES games, if not, I mean, it's top 5. And to that travesty of what they did with Star Fox, throwing that in there. Super Mario Sunshine. Watch Ms. T's last video and watch that boss fight with that squid octopus thing. It just brought back some memories. Like, I kind of enjoyed it as I played it back in the day, but I was never completely satisfied. I had to look up the last boss fight. I did it once and never played the game really again. I know it's blasphemy for a lot of people. It's definitely the worst 3D Mario game with, I mean, it's not even close. I don't know how you can make an argument that there's a worse one. All the levels look the same. Then there was the ones that took away your water pack, your flood, and then they played terrible. Like, he was too fast and the controls were too twitch. You couldn't really control them very well. It was just frustrating. The blue coins, I mean, you can't justify that stuff. It was just garbage. The blue coin challenges to get stars, and you go into a level for a shine or whatever it was called, and there'd be a blue coin in this spot, but then you go to the next mission, if you will, and then there's 2 blue coins. So no way you could ever keep track of what you already had. It was just, you'd have to replay every single level and scour every single time. And I was like, I'm not doing that. And that was the last time I ever played the game, when I realized that was what was going to be to get 120 stars. So the other one, and this one's going to be controversial, and that's The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. Now, I did like the game when it came out. It was way too short. There wasn't enough dungeons, and it was frustrating with the Wind Waker constantly having to do the song to change the direction of the wind. And, oh, that's not quite in the right direction. Or, I need to go in an angle to get where I need to go. And you couldn't quite get the wind to go there. So you were trying to veer off, but then you'd slow to a crawl. And they admitted that they had to cut dungeons out of the game to get it out. They were trying to make the GameCube a success. They rushed it out. I liked the idea of it. And the reason that I can put that on my list of disappointing is because the HD version is a great game, because they had to fix a lot of stuff. The fact that they had to fix that much stuff should tell you something. If you really want to be honest with yourself about what that game was, they had basically took out all the frustrating stuff, that ridiculous treasure hunt at the end for the Triforce pieces and stuff. They streamlined that, and yeah, it looked good. It had a lot of character. It was fun. It was a different experience that we've seen in Zelda before, and I do appreciate it now that it's been fixed. In my opinion, Wind Waker HD's better. I like that better than Twilight Princess now. So, but the actual GameCube version of Wind Waker, it was nice. I liked it, but I didn't love it, and I wasn't excited to ever play it again on the GameCube. So, so those are 3 major franchises that I had probably in my opinion, the worst of their, the worst entry in the series. Again, like I said, there's a lot of pretty good third-party games. To me, it was 2-to-1 third-party games to first-party games, and that says everything I need to say about why it's number 6 on my list. Because if I have a Nintendo console and I own more third-party games than I do first-party games, that tells me everything I need to know. Because I don't buy Nintendo systems to play third-party games. Never have. Even back on the Super NES, all my favorite games were Nintendo games. I didn't even know it back then. Like, I didn't even pay that attention to who made it. So it was basically a third-party system. So if you love the GameCube, more than likely you loved a lot of the third-party games. There was some pretty good exclusives. Resident Evil 4 was exclusive for a while, but talking about it now, it's definitely not an exclusive game. There were some unique games. There's some RPGs that I never played. So just to give you guys some full information here, I didn't. And also, I turned 21 that year. So if anybody is past the age of 21, your life priorities are way different when you turn 21. Back in the day, gaming wasn't on my mind a lot around that time. So some of the issues I had was the small controller. It was comfortable, but it just never felt right to me. The C-stick is just I just think it's a dumb design to have that little nub instead of a standard controller. There were 6-foot controller cords. I mean, you had extensions come out later. They just didn't care about people's setups. I had a 47-inch widescreen HD TV, which 40p 1080i. A 6-foot cord. I had to pull the GameCube way out, and they just didn't. Just like with the NES Classic, they just didn't think about the user experience. The memory cards. You remember the memory cards came for $20, and it only had, God, what was the size? 50 megabytes or something. You couldn't even get. You could do one Madden save file on the original memory card. Well, it's only $20. The PlayStation 2 one is 40. Yeah, but that had like 256 megabytes. It had like 7 times the memory, whatever it was. So that was annoying. And then just hooking it up to an HDTV, you had to go on the Nintendo store and order component cables, the only place you could get them. And it's just, like I said, it just wasn't a well thought out user experience. But some of the good stuff came from that was the Wavebird. They basically brought wireless controller into the next generation and made it a viable option, which is now the standard. So that was awesome. The system was small, it was efficient, and booted up fast, and it had beautiful visuals. It was a very powerful system. So those were all very, very good things. 4 controller ports, and in the front they kept that, and overall it was a good system. It just, for the timing for me and a lot of the shortcomings, and then the games I mentioned that were disappointing, I definitely couldn't rank it any above anything else. So number 5 and Triple J Zoo, you were right, the NES. And I kind of given this list already in the past, but the standout games: Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers 3, Tecmo Bowl, Contra, The Legend of Zelda. I think those 5 were the cream of the crop for me. I played Tecmo Bowl and Contra with my cousin and friends until the sun came up. The system was, obviously the big thing and way better than Atari. I didn't even know the Master System existed until years later. Some other good games, we had the RC Pro-Am type games, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade game, which wasn't nearly as good as the actual arcade. And then the sports titles like Mario Golf was fun, Duck Hunt was fun. There was just so many different types of games. There was the RPGs for those types of people that like those. There was the beat 'em ups, the 2D beat 'em ups like the Double Dragons, the Ninja Gaidens. There was just so many great games, a lot of third party. But like I said, back then I didn't pay attention to who was making them. But the reason it's number 5 on my list and not higher, I never owned it. It was a family item that my grandpa provided, and when my cousins got older, and we got older, and our cousins were young, they got the NES, and I bought a few of the games and kept them. But it just wasn't. I was just too young, and I never owned it, so I didn't really feel like it was a big part of my life. It was in the house for a couple years, and then I got the Super NES, and basically it was perfect timing. But with so many great games, like just the memories of playing Contra, Tecmo Bowl, Legend of Zelda, Super Mario Bros. 3 until the sun come up, like it made me a gamer. So maybe it should have been a little higher on this list, but the fact that, like I said, I never actually owned it myself, and I was so young, that's why it's number 5, even though I do recognize it is what made me a gamer the gamer that I am today. And it was a great system for the time, and safe gaming. So, I had some issues with the cartridges and the game. Some games won't boot up, stuff like that, the technology back then. But, the gold Zelda cartridge, I mean, come on, like, that thing was awesome. My friend had it. I didn't actually have it, but I played the whole game. Sometimes at my house, sometimes at his house. The save files was actually on the cartridge, so you could just bring it over. We lived like 4 houses down the road, so just fond memories and just a ton of great games. There was a lot of trash too. There was a lot of forgettable experiences games I rented that I couldn't even remember the names of. But I think Battletoads was on the NES. That was one of those, like, it was cool, but it was so hard. It was so frustrating. So there was a lot of those really hard, really frustrating games. I was a kid. So, but yeah, that's going to be my number 5. And next week, I'm going to do number 4 and number 3. If you guys guess, the whole list perfectly, I'd be shocked. But I haven't come up with all that stuff. But like I said, next week, I'm going to do those plus any other news that comes up, any other stuff, and look forward to that. I'll try to do them every Friday because the Switch releases on a Friday, and yeah, it's just exciting, and hopefully didn't make anybody too mad with my complaints about the GameCube. The NES, I trying to think of complaints, but gaming was so new. The controllers weren't comfortable, but we didn't know any better. You had the light gun, was cool, but only a few games used it, and there was a lot of shovelware, that kind of stuff. But there was so many good licensed games. There was a lot of bad licensed games, and it was really the only thing out there. So I guess leave me your list if you want to leave the whole list, or you want to just give me your number 6 and number 5. That'd be cool too. So yeah, that's going to be it. I'm going to keep this a little shorter, and I can just tell that the further away from the January 12th event, the interest in all the hype of the Switch, I had a ridiculous amount of live viewers the first 2 Juice Opinions after the Switch event. And that stuff's, just like I said in the Juice Opinion, or the Juice is Loose, all those people are gone, and we're back to just the legit diehard, the real Juice is Loose Terminator Juice fans, which I appreciate. Because I knew you guys would be here always, unless I've pissed off a few loyal followers, and they stopped following me, but I had a good reasons for that. But yeah, I appreciate it. The real fans here, not just, the Switch, Nintendo might be on top again, so I'm gonna watch all these people that are pro Nintendo. That kind of stuff has kind of died off already. So I've noticed that, and it is what it is. It was cool to see all those live viewers and stuff, but it's just bandwagon stuff, and I'm just so excited to be playing Legend of Zelda. I'm completely on a Zelda blackout, even though it's hard to avoid a screenshot here or there, like the lightning strike photo I think they posted on Facebook or whatever is like so amazing. But I know Game Informer has all this. They have the full game, so they have all this new stuff, and I'm just like, nope. I saw 2 seconds of footage. I'm like, nope. I'm seeing, Link on a horse in like a snowy area with the horse for the first time, and I'm just like, it looks awesome, but nope. I've seen too much already. So no more Zelda. As much as I want to see some cool stuff, I'm just going to wait and experience it in the game. And Triple J Zoo says that I'm a real Nintendo fan. He'll stay until I turn into a Sony pony. Well, my Sony, we collected dust for the next, 4 years probably. I mean, I'll probably pick up Horizon down the road, and Spider-Man maybe if it turns out. Other than that, Last of Us 2 probably 2018. So I'll probably pick up a few more PS4 games in the next 4 years, but it's going to be plenty of Switch. And so yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait. I don't feel like I've ever changed as a Nintendo fan. Some people might say that's being fake, but I haven't felt really any different about Nintendo, whether it was the voice chat revolving around Splatoon or the Wii U's failure and Nintendo doubling down on their established franchises and sticking to 2D platformers and the game genres they know, and giving us a really good lineup of games on the Wii U. Like, I just feel like I've been the same Nintendo fan, not blind to some negativity. Like, I'm so bummed the Miiverse isn't coming back. Yeah, I can post a photo on Twitter. I do that on the PS4, and guess what? Oh, one person liked your photo. 2 people liked your photo. There's not that conversation that Miiverse had. So maybe I'll throw in some things each week about the Switch. Maybe I'm looking forward to. Maybe I'm not looking forward to. And then the Juices Loose should be fun this week. Retro Death's going to be on. And we're going to we're going to run down the lineup, the majority of the games we know coming to the Switch in 2017. And we're going to put them in probably 3 or 4 categories. 100% guaranteed going to buy it. Highly likely I'm going to buy it. Probably going to buy it if, and then probably not going to buy it. Those 4 categories. I don't know if I want to go through every single announced game, but it should be interesting. I'm looking forward to find out what games people really think they're going to buy for the Switch. Like, when I was thinking at first, I was like, yeah, I'm going to buy this, but buy this, this, and this. But then I'm like, well, Street Fighter, if I find out that it's just basic mode and it's $60, then maybe I won't, that kind of stuff. So look forward to that next week, Monday. We'll probably start at 7:30. Work's been pretty busy on Mondays, and Robert Rule 2 is going to be gone for the next 3. So if you're a fan of him, if you come to watch the Juices Loose podcast for Robert Rule 2, you're going to be disappointed. But I think Retro Death do a great job filling in, and I look forward to that discussion. But I see chat's going good, so I'm going to end this. I'll stay around the chat for a few minutes, and then I got to get back to that Fire Emblem Heroes damn game. And so look forward to the Juices Loose on Monday, and then Juice Opinions next week for my number 4, number 3 Nintendo home consoles and my reasons. So until then, we'll see you guys.